Suit up, strap in, warm the tires, and leave on yellow. Time for the MitsuTimes podcast, presented by MitsuTimes.org, the home of the fastest Mitsubishi cars. With your host, Josh.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the MitsuTimes podcast. My guest today is Mr. Michael Kozier. He is the owner and driver of a very cool Evo. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for joining me. You have a pretty rare Evo for North America.
Definitely.
Don't see many of them. Well, good deal. All right, Michael, so what is it that got you into racing and specifically time attack over the other forms of motorsport?
So for racing, definitely Need for Speed Underground was my first introduction into just the racing world. My dad got me a copy of that, and even from a young age, we already had a racing simulator. So I really enjoyed that side of it, and Need for Speed eventually evolved from Need for Speed Underground to games like Shift, where it was more track focused, and I really enjoyed that.
Awesome. It's crazy how many of us got started in those video games back when we were kids.
Such a good video game. I love the concept of it and just where it is now.
Yeah. Well, Michael, why the Evo 7 specifically? Like I mentioned, it's a pretty uncommon Evo for North America. Was it your dream platform, or was it just something that you happened to run across?
Funny enough, it was not my very first choice. So when I first started to even think about doing this, I was actually going to get a Integra Type R. The shop that ended up sponsoring me, before they sponsored me, they had a yellow Integra Type R. And I was going to grab that. And at the time, I was a little bit worried about it. And when that car got sold, I started actually looking at the Evo 3 because somebody mentioned to me it's a super lightweight car and it'd be a really good choice. And from the 3, it evolved to the 4. From the 4, it evolved to the 5, to the 6. And then at the time in Canada, the newest model you could get was a 7 that you could import from Japan. So I did a lot of research through watching videos like Best Motoring International from Japan. And I absolutely fell in love with the car because I've always been a big fan of the Evo.
Awesome. It really seems the chassis really seems to be suited well for circuit racing too. So that's really awesome.
Big time.
Well, Michael, thinking way back, can you tell me about your first ever track day with the Evo? What went right and what went wrong?
So my first track day ever, I ended up going with my dad to Toronto Motorsports Park out in Cayuga. And I was so excited to go for the very first time. My dad went the week prior with me to get my first set of helmet and gloves and shoes. And I went out there feeling really pumped. And in my first session, I did really well. But then when I went out for my second session, I guess that overconfidence really got to me. And I immediately hit a pylon through the kink area and cracked my brand new fiberglass front lip.
Oh.
Which was definitely unfortunate.
Sure. Wow. Well, speaking of front lips, Michael, a lot of the guys I have on here talk about how huge aero is in time attack. What's your approach to aerodynamics, and how do you take as much advantage of it to make a difference at the track?
So in the last few years, we've definitely taken a bigger step towards aero because for the longest time, I basically had the stock body with the stock wing. And now having a GT wing and a front splitter makes such a big difference. Places like Coda, where you go around the carousel, you could definitely see that you could just put your foot to the ground and the car sticks. You definitely have to be more committed for that downforce, but it definitely plays a major factor.
I love it. That's awesome. And the Evo chassis itself just looks so good too with, one of those GT wings on there. It looks so mean.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I wish I could do a dual elements, which would be super cool, like the Voltex one, maybe in the future.
Well, usually when I talk to time attack guys, after talking about aero, they talk about tires and suspension. So what's your go-to setup, and how often are you tweaking it?
So my number one choice is Yokohama AO52s. By far the best tires you could possibly use on the track. As it goes for suspension, we recently partnered with Annex Suspension. I'm definitely excited to try and see how that works out with their product, especially now going to a stiffer spring. I wouldn't say that I adjust it from track to track. I
Mhm.
try to just go with the driving style of the car. If the car is understeering, maybe try not driving it as hard, or just try finding out how the car works per track rather than constantly adjusting the clicks. Just drive the car. Don't focus on that as much.
Okay. Okay. These days, everybody has a draggy. Well, there's a website called racemeanywhere.com. It has leaderboards for different types of vehicles that you can get added with just a draggy screenshot. There are also periodic events that use a different metric to rank the submissions sent during the event that have real payouts. These events could be a 60-foot, quarter mile, or a 60 to 130 mile per hour. Check out the website, make a profile, get your car or your cars added, and start making money from what you're already doing anyways at racemeanywhere.com. You know, we talked a lot about the chassis, Michael. What has been the most challenging aspect of setting up the Evo for Time Attack, you know, when you compare it to how others set it up for drag racing or even rally racing?
100% it's understeer. Whenever you're going through a corner, especially a tight hairpin or something like that, the car naturally likes to understeer. So to get it to rotate was a big challenge at the beginning. A large sway bar in the rear usually helps big time.
Okay. And Michael, we hear a lot from you know, time attack guys and circuit racers that the long sweeping tracks are best suited for the Evo, and that tends to be the driver's favorite. What is your favorite track to run the Evo on?
My favorite track by far is Road Atlanta. Being there for the first time is just perfect for each gear. The car is 100% suited for it. I just love the absolute flow, especially when you go down through the hill. It's absolutely perfect.
I definitely love watching the racing at Road Atlanta, so that makes a lot of sense.
It's a very good track.
So, Michael, how do you mentally prepare before a hot lap, knowing that you only have a few laps to put down your best time? That's got to be a lot of pressure.
It definitely is. When I first started out, I definitely never got it on my first lap. It would usually take me a few laps, especially near the end, to get my best lap. I later adapted that you have to pretty much get it done for your first lap because the tires tend to overheat. And there could be a lot of other factors of there might be a red flag, there might be other guys who might hold you up. So I usually try to get it done as soon as I can and just stay mentally focused as much as possible.
Okay, makes sense. Michael, have you ever had like a sketchy moment behind the wheel where, you know, it seems like it's going towards the wall or maybe even a spin?
My sketchiest moment in my Evo was at Mosport DDT, my first round of competition when I first got the car. And on the back straight of Mosport, there is a small bump in the track on the back straight. And the car got a little light in the front end because we didn't have a lot of downforce back then. And it jumped over from the right side of the track to the left side of the track. And it made me lose control where I skidded, but managed to keep control. But it was definitely the sketchiest moment in my car.
Michael, what events can we find you at coming up?
Um, you could definitely catch me at Grid Life, and hopefully I will be going back to Super Lap Battle at Texas. I definitely want to go back there again. I definitely want a podium there for sure.
Are you entered in all the Grid Life events or just certain ones?
Mostly the festivals. Between work, it's quite already hard to try to make as many events, especially going down to the States coming from Canada.
Right, right. And then, Michael, at the end, I always give people a chance to give a thanks or a shout out to anybody who's helped them out along the way or helped get their car where it is. Is there anybody that you want to give a thanks or a shout out to?
Biggest shout out goes out to my dad who helped me get the car from Japan. He has come to all my events, all my races, every single one of my track days. So thank you to my dad for always supporting me and helping me out for all the racing. Next shout out goes out to my girlfriend Chrissy, who also comes out to all my track days. Next big shout out goes to Dov Arnoff and NV Auto, who helped build the car, who helped bring the car to the track, who sponsor me and help me get other sponsorships. To my friends, Phil, Giuliano, Chris Sharpen, all track guys, really awesome group of guys who always come out and we do a lot of cool track stuff. To Judd and Ian Buchanan, who were there the very first track day that I ever had and gave me a lot of support, helped me learn the ropes of time attack. Without them, it wouldn't have been possible. To my importer, Craig, who helped me get the car. So Craig from Bonsai Rides, thank you very much. And to Speed Academy, to Dave and Pete, who always took the time out of their day to help me for any questions that I had with the car.
All right, Michael. Well, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to come on here and tell your story and tell the story of your Evo 7. I wish you the best of luck this year, and I hope you get some cool trophies to take home.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to the MitsuTimes podcast. Check out our Instagram and Facebook for daily updates. Get added to our list by going to MitsuTimes.org and clicking Submit a Slip. Thank you to all of our sponsors.